Hello, everyone. It's Melissa the Dreadful Mystic with Starting Out Solitary, and I'm here with the Deviant Witch as
Oh,
my special guest. And today we are going to talk about Potion Making 101. So, a potion, at least my definition of it, because I don't use that word ever, is liquid magic, basically. Any kind of liquid concoction. What do you think?
that's exactly what I think. Yeah, I mean, it's anything for healing purposes, anything that's in liquid form. Trying to look for something, uh, liquid form that can be used and it's imbued with magic, imbued with power that has healing properties or anything to benefit the target or the witch or whatnot in a metaphysical, spiritual way.
Right. And you can also use it for curses.
Yes.
Honestly, when I think of potions, I always think of that like an evil witch stirring her cauldron, getting ready to like in Snow White, poison the apple or whatever. So I actually kind of think more of curses in a way with the word potion.
Right. Right.
Healing, but it can even be used for anything that is a spell in a bottle that has liquid in it.
Yeah, exactly. I think you're right. I think you think Snow White, and I think of Hocus Pocus. You know, when they create that potion to suck the lives out of all the children.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So yeah, I don't use that word a lot ever, really. So, but yeah, I guess honestly, and Michael and I have created a few formularies where we use oil concoctions and herbal concoctions. Ugh, that's a hard word to say.
Challenge.
But so I think of them as more formulas or an oil blend or a powder blend, something like that. But anyway, so yes, how would you start out? How would you go about creating a liquid blend?
Liquid magic.
Yeah.
Well, one. Actually, obviously, y'all, you're gonna need like your intent. Like, what do you want to create? So, what is your desire? So, what's our desire here? I don't know. But create your desire, whatever it is that you want to create. Then you'd formulate around that. So let's say, obviously, the first thing that pops into my head is love. Um, so you would, contemplate love. What do you want to do? You want to attract love. And so there you have something to go with. So you would have to decide, okay, I want to attract love. Do I want to attract, like, promote, like, self love? Do I want to attract, like, friendship, that sort of love? Do I want to attract another person? That type of love. So there's different things that you have to consider when you're creating a potion. But obviously you want to make sure you set it out and figure out what you want to create, and then pile on the other shit.
Right, exactly. And how you want to execute it. Like, is this going to be a something you want to drink? Or is it going to be something you want to anoint yourself with? Is it going to be something you want to dress a candy with? Or is it something you want to add to your bath and take, like a ritual bath?
Ooh.
So, yes, I love bath additives.
Bath magic.
Yeah. So, that's what you want to do. You want to concentrate on your purpose and then how you want to make it, and you can start. For me, I always think about how, the purpose. So I'm going to think about the base, what carrier I'm going to have. So if it's something I'm going to drink, then I would use something like moon water,
Ooh.
and charge water under the moon in a certain phase.
Mm.
Or even if the moon isn't in the right phase and you don't want to wait until the next month or a few weeks, I would charge, put some crystals in the water and let it charge. And if I'm doing like an oil, that I want to use to anoint myself or to dress a candle with, then I want to think of what base oil I want to use, what carrier oil. And with love, I really like sweet almond oil. I don't know why. I like this, just it adds that sweetness. But you can use anything that's safe to be put on the body or a candle. Now, if it's not safe, then obviously you want to keep it to like candles.
Right.
Something you wouldn't want to put on your skin. So, and you wouldn't want to put like straight up non-diluted essential oils on your skin.
Right.
That tends to usually. So, it really just depends on what you want to do with it. But I would definitely, get that figured out, and that way you know how you want to charge it, how you want to start it out. To me, the base is going to take up the majority of what you're creating.
Right.
So I like to really work with the base, and that would be like my basic goal. So if I want to make anything for love, then I might take that, like say I'm going to make something to drink. I want to make like a tea.
Ooh.
I'll, charge it with rose quartz, maybe a little carnelian, maybe a little garnet. Depends on what kind of love. If I'm wanting like sex love,
Getting crazy over here, y'all.
Right, a little spicy, a little hot. And so it just depends. But if I'm wanting to attract it to me and it just happens to be the new moon or the waning moon, then I'll set it outside and charge it to the moon. So it just really depends on what you want to do.
And honestly,
huh?
I was going to say, honestly, you also want to take advantage of possibly like Friday. Friday. For, Venus and Aphrodite, and Friday is great for love workings. So definitely do that for charge yourself or work under the moon influence, or work under anything when you're attracting love or anything with love on a Friday. That's easy. That's what common witchy sense says. I want love, attract anything to do with love. Let's work on Friday.
Right. And if Friday happens to be like out, let's say you're doing this on a Sunday and you don't want to wait till the next Friday. Gosh, I just cannot talk today. Sunday is great for attraction, for success. So you can really maneuver it in there too, just depending on the day. But Friday would be the
ideal.
Best. Yeah, ideal day. So what, we've got our base, we've got our main carrier to our potion. What would you do with the rest of the ingredients? How would you infuse this with more magic?
It really just depends. But okay, so when I activate my potion, when I activate something, it starts, like I said, where we just started, where we figure out what we want to do, we go through ingredients and all these other things, but that's when it starts. And so at that point is when I start, mentally preparing and visualizing, kind of meditating and trancing. I will allow my goal and what I want to feel like, when I have what I'm attracting, I will allow that to go through me. I'll feel it, like I feel how it is when I have what I want. I'll feel the attraction process, because we all know when we're attracted to someone or something or whatnot, the desire, we understand what that feels like. And so I will channel that and allow that to go through me and pulse through my body, and I will hold it, and I will put the items together. Usually what I do is, if I'm working with, let's say, I have this shit always. I'm always showing y'all my sage bundle. But if I have my sage bundle, if I have an herb with me, I will have it and I'll hold it in my hands, and I will allow the imagery to go through my head, and I will allow the feelings to process through my body, and then I'll pour it into the herb, and I will ask the herb to activate and to be present, and I will give the herb its specific properties, like what it's there for and how it's going to co-create and coexist with the other items in my potion. So that's what I do when I activate something, and when I'm like, imbuing it with magic. So I'll meditate and I'll visualize and I'll continue that feeling, that energy, and I'll raise it and I'll pour it in every single item. It's having a communication with the items that you're working with, and then you sort of, depending on what you're creating, you put it in your oil bottle, or you put it in like a little spray bottle, or you put it in a cup because you're going to drink it, whatever. But that's how I really imbue my shits with magic.
Yeah, exactly. And and you want to really connect, like Michael said, that's what I do as well. You want to make sure you're in that zone, in the spell zone, in between worlds. You're no longer on the physical plane, and you want to connect with everything you're putting in there. So you wouldn't put in something that doesn't speak to you of love, specifically the kind of love that you want to drink. So whenever you're working with, whatever ingredients you work with, make sure you have that connection, understand what those ingredients are going to be.
Right. Yeah.
So, and yes, and you them. To me, it's almost like see, I don't know if this makes sense, but it's almost like seeing music. Like, have you ever been so in the zone with the music, you can kind of see the aura of music?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same way. Like, I don't know, to me, once I know it's all imbued because I can see that essence in the potion that I'm creating, whatever it is. It has that aura that tells me that it's ready. So, it just depends on you and how you interpret those things,
Right.
whether it's visual or whatever, But whenever I'm imbuing everything and putting it together, I want to know that it's at the right temperature, so at the right frequency. And so, to me, it has a certain color. I know what I'm looking for, and I know what what it's going to be when I see it. So, and that's important, regardless of, even if you can't get the moon phase right, or the day right, if it's something you feel you need right now. The most important thing is knowing that you have it imbued with the magic and the essence that you want in that potion, and then use as you would want. If you're creating a tea, you drink it, or maybe you're going to give it to the person you're trying to attract to drink.
Right.
Whatever it is, and or if it's something you're anointing on yourself, then you anoint yourself. Maybe you also need to anoint the person you're trying to attract. But make sure you understand what you need to do with it after you create it.
Right.
You want to have when you are creating anything, whether it's a powder, an oil, whatever it is, you want to have a complete understanding of what it's going to do and how it's going to do it and what you must do with it once it's done.
Right, absolutely. And that's like, there really is no, we teach a lot about like creating whenever you need, but there really is no excuse to not have certain things blessed on certain moon phases. So if you get like dried rose petals, like if you have roses, you can dry that shit out, and then like on a new moon on a Friday, and you can channel the energy into those, label it, and save it for when you might need them, and so you have those opportunities. So you can do that and save it for a rainy day, or save it when you might need this for attraction whenever you create that. And also take into consideration, like if you're going to make a tea, if you're going to slow brew or whatever, depending on what you're going to do with it, you can use, boil it on the oven or stovetop, whatever. And that has a specific energy, and when you're doing that, you pour that energy in. You can use a slow cooker, especially with like rose petals, and that kind of slowly, cooks your potion. That slowly activates it, and that's gonna make something it might take longer a little slower to work, but it's long lasting. because of your connection with the slow cooker and what it means to do that. So the more you put your awareness and your understanding of how things work, you know, your mundane aspects in a spiritual sense, the more you will activate the power in everything that you do. So the more that everything you do is a magical act, and you create your working your potion, you give it life on so many different levels.
Yes, yes, exactly. So like if I decided I wanted to make a tea, and I decided I wanted to make a sun tea where it just slowly infuses in a bright window, because I feel like the sun will add warmth to that love. The sun is related to your inner child, so a happiness, you know, a very close connection that's kind of playful, you know, very warm and loving. So because of that, and I'm like, okay, that's a good way to not only infuse this tea, but also another way to add that essence. So yeah, to me that's really important. And sometimes, and I won't even lie, sometimes I will be in the middle of creating something and be like, you know, I think it would be better if I combine it this way, you know, and that's fine. You know, your magic, your spell work is totally changeable. You know, it's fluid. You can change it just as long as you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, why you're stirring it clockwise, why you're stirring it counterclockwise, what that means to you, why you're adding these ingredients.
Right.
You know, and then it has a personal meaning to you. You know, it's great to find out the meanings of herbs and oils and books and everything else, but you really need to make sure you have a personal understanding
Right.
of those herbs and oils and everything you're using, you know, and personal experience with it.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Why don't we give them a few, like, just let's talk about like a few different herbs, just not herbs or different things that they can utilize in, you know, a love potion or a attraction potion or something. Just curios, herbs, oils, anything that pops into your head. Let's just have a little fun and talk about a few different things that come to mind. So it gives them some ideas, because we talked about how to start it, picking your, you know, your intent, or picking your what your desire was. We talked about, you know, the process of creating it and channeling that energy and imbuing the product with it, and kind of different ways of doing it. So let's talk a little bit about different items that they might be interested in using. And why.
Ooh, okay. Yeah, I like that. Well, I guess, of course, I don't know. Y'all already know my mind is thinking more of a sexual, lusty kind of love. So I'm just going to stay in that track. So, of course, patchouli. I love patchouli. Honeysuckle is really good. I love the flirtatious, playful energy of honeysuckle. Um, Jasmine, really good for those sexy, sultry vibes. You know, and jasmine also attracts and brings to you. So does honeysuckle. Of course, the obvious is rose, but I don't like. I like using rose in love, but honestly, I like to be a little different. I really like using roses in curses more than I do in love potions.
Yeah.
But you could use roses, red roses for love. Actually, right now I have some deep purple lilies
Ooh,
that I think would be really good.
those are
And
dirty.
yes, they are. So I'm going to be trying those out later and saving them for that. But yeah, they're in this beautiful purple, passionate color. So passion fruit. If you're going to make like something to drink, passion fruit is excellent for love, a love potion. So I've said a few now. I'll let you go ahead and mention some.
Dude, put me on the spot. Oh my. Let's see. For love, what could you use? Actually, you can use vodka for love, just because that has a very specific energy. But what I do is like, I forget what they're called, but I think they're like Italian or something, but they're like cherries, and they're not like natural.
Maraschino, Maraschino cherry?
They're not those. They're different. I can't remember what they were. I'll have to find out. But and I'll put vodka.
But cherries are good in general.
Yes, any kind of cherry really. But these are like specific. They're darker and they just taste really good. But I'll put that in with some vodka, and that's really actually good to utilize. Cherries are great for. They're great for love. They're great for lust. They're great for like a very sensual and intimate connection. They also are great for attraction and for fertility. Vodka, it raises the spiritual essence. It helps to kind of it obviously lowers inhibitions, but it puts you on this, depending on the amount you use, it puts you in this specific frequency where you're comfortable enough with expressing, the energy is comfortable enough with expressing who and what and all of that, so it helps everything to blend well together. I obviously like to utilize quartz, just because with quartz it amplifies everything. So I charge a lot of things with quartz, especially when I'm doing any work. I'll have it on me. Like I'll have quartz on me. You can even use, I think it's called cherry quartz, which is like sacred to Aphrodite, and you have that on you. And I have one somewhere around here. But
I like those. I think they're man-made ones, but they're still really awesome.
They are man-made, and I was kind of like snooty and snobby towards a lot of man-made crystals, but the more I've like worked with them, I'm like, okay, I like you. It's cool. I get it. But
yeah, exactly.
It's perfect for any sort of love working. I guess rose quartz. Let's just talk about rose quartz because everyone has rose quartz. Rose quartz is more like friendship, friendship and familial love, and just like a very airy and airy fairy, like this general connection. So rose quartz is perfect when you want to kind of focus on maybe some self-love or just building a little stronger relationship with your familial bonds as well as like friendships. Those are good.
Or if you want things to start out slow.
Yeah.
If you're kind of take it slow with a sexual partner type relationship, you can use rose quartz, and that would be good. Especially if you're they're really good for your first love spell. Like your first time love spell. They really are perfect for that because we tend to overdo it when we start out.
Yes.
So sort of balance things out a little bit.
I'm so glad that you said that. Absolutely, because especially like you said, if it's your first love spell, we put a lot of energy into that. So like you said, rose quartz can help buffer that and kind of like calm your shit down so it doesn't work too good or doesn't get too crazy, as well as it doesn't burn out. Like it doesn't like boom, bam, bam, thank you, man, whatever, wham, whatever. And it doesn't burn out like that. So yeah, that's good. Shit, there's a lot of things that are good. Like you said, garnets, and garnets are perfect. Yeah, cinnamon's perfect. Cinnamon's a good one to kind of spice things up in a relationship, but not too crazy. So cinnamon is borderline like vanilla into something more, so because it has that spice, but it's not overly potent. It can get that potent if you push it, but it helps bridge the gap. So if you're in a relationship and you're trying to create like a potion or something that takes it to the next level, or if you're having some like communication issues or just like issues in a love situation, cinnamon can help you like bridge that gap. It can help you take you into the next level, or just take you through that shaky period.
Right. Ooh, rose hips are good for new love. Instead, that's something that a lot of people don't really utilize as much, but they're also good to add to anything you want to drink. If you're wanting to make something like a tea specifically, rose hips are safe and they're good. Anything you can add to tea, because it's got almost a bitter oregano-ish taste to it. So you can use that, and Dittany is great for love.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it's a new love, you have to be a little careful with Disney because it can make them really amorous. So you have to go a little easy on the Disney, but unless you want that, and then go for it. But there was something else that popped into my head a minute ago, and then it left. That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Oh, honey and sugar. Sweeten things up.
Boom. Yes.
Honey is really, to me, I prefer honey over sugar, honestly. Brown sugar is really good. Especially if you really want to lay on the sweetness thick.
Yeah.
Honey has a lot of associations with Aphrodite. And so if you work with Aphrodite especially, honey is wonderful. But honey is just really good in love spells anyway. You know, you have that kind of sticky, stick-to-me effect.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You could. I also like in love workings and such. I'll mix honey with maybe like maple syrup, something that's a little more runny, because sometimes honey is just a little too slow. So I'll mix it with a little. I'll cut it with something, even if it's like I'll mix it with like a carrier oil. I might like cherry kernel oil or something like that, just to get it to move a little faster. Because sometimes honey is a little too slow, and that's a good thing. That can be a very good thing, but it just depends on what you want. So
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I can't think of anything else really. Yeah, we've already given you day associations. Pay attention to those phases of the moon. And like Michael stated earlier, this is a really good time to, if you don't, like right now, particularly need a love spell, but you have ingredients that you can preserve for later on, this is an excellent time to do that, especially, during those certain phases of the moon. Then go for it, Start collecting things now and charging them on the days that they need to be charged on. During the moon phases they need to be charged on, and you'll have them for later and mark them. I do that with moon water all the time. I have like 4 or 5 bottles in the fridge. It's like full moon, water here, waning, waxing, and new moon, and have them all marked so I know, and they're there and they're fine, and they'll stay good until I need them. So it's a really good idea to save and collect things now, and you'll have them already charged and ready to go when you need them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So anything you would like to add?
I don't think so. Just if y'all have any questions, any comments, if you want to discuss anything we've expressed, just comment below and we'll get back to you.
Definitely, yes. All the questions I'll answer. We will answer.
Sure.
So, thanks everyone for watching, and we will see you again later on this week.
Yes.
Bye.